Well, Essentia Health has an idea for the plot of land where the old St. Mary's Hospital used to be, and the city of Duluth might be on board. While crews are still in the middle of demolishing the building downtown, Essentia Health is proposing that the University of Minnesota should take the land at no cost. The university is planning a potential expansion of its medical school program in Duluth. School leaders already confirmed that they're turning a 2-year program into a 4-year program. And while nothing is set in stone just yet, the school has previously expressed interest in expanding to a new campus. Essentia Health believes that this would be the perfect spot to expand the program and train tomorrow's healthcare workers.
Over the course of the next 5 years, 1 in 3 rural care providers will be leaving the field, so we think now is the time to make this investment, and we're very appreciative of the university's vision.
Again, nothing is set in stone on the university's end just yet, but Essentia leaders believe that if they could and if they do choose to use the old St. Mary's lot, it could help revitalize the area and eventually encourage more businesses to move in to accommodate and support student needs. Duluth City councilors are expected to talk about the proposal tonight and possibly advance a resolution supporting the project.